You're watching the Comcast Network. CN100, Chicago.
From unknown to known. That might be the best description for an Edwardsville native's rise to earning the greatest individual award in Illinois high school basketball. The name Mark Smith is now a very familiar one, especially for Illini fans, but it could also be the most unlikely name engraved on the Mr. Basketball trophy. The 6'5" senior guard nearly averaged a triple-double while leading the Tigers to the Super Sectionals, but his remarkable senior season on the court almost didn't happen, as Mark's talents had long been focused on another sport. After a promising career ended before it truly blossomed, Mark turned to basketball and quickly cemented his name amongst countless greats that have touched the court. Here's the improbable journey of the 2017 Mr. Basketball of Illinois, Mark Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll please find your seats, we would like to begin in just a few moments. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Mr. Basketball of Illinois for 2017, the 37th winner of the award, from Edwardsville High School, Mark Smith.
I would like to thank the Illinois Basketball Coach Association. I would also like to thank the Chicago Tribune for honoring me with such a prestigious award. That was my dream as a kid, so when Mr. Basketball, so to see it come true, it's just great to see my hard work pay off. I am truly honored and blessed, and I'm looking forward to going to Illinois these next 4 years. Thank you.
All right, man, this is it. State Farm Center, 16,000 screaming. Mark Smith fans?
Yeah, that's a lot of fans. Cheer on for the orange and blue.
Man.
Try to win for the orange and blue.
So have you ever envisioned that moment where it's the starting lineup and they say a freshman from Edwardsville, Illinois, number 13, 6'5", Mark Smith?
Yeah, that's my goal, you know, the flashing lights, the Illini theme song. It's gonna be a pretty special moment.
Now you're on the court, you're in Illinois gear. First time on the court with the rims up, getting some shots up. This has to be surreal,
yeah,
right?
It's pretty special being out here for the first time, you know, actually, you know, just feeling it, shooting shots on the rim, and just seeing how it is in a big arena like this, you know, not just watching from the stands now. Just, you know, hopefully, you know, my name will be in the starting lineup. That's why I came here, just represent the orange and blue.
We like to recruit character, not characters. And Mark is definitely a young man with extremely high character. That comes from parents.
He's been blessed. He's had a nice journey.
Yeah, he has. He's really been blessed.
Maybe the best compliment that I've heard about Mark, he was a great teammate. You know, that means winning is important. His parents have obviously instilled that in him.
He was always involved in the sports, and he was doing it all. He just went from football to baseball to basketball. It was great. It was great. He just loves sports.
Take me back to your first experience on the basketball court. How old were you when you first touched the ball, and do you remember your first basket?
I've lived in Edwardsville my whole life, but I'm from Decatur, so like we had this little hoop outside, and that's like where it all started, where I started shooting on a 10-foot basket at about like age 3.
I walked outside one day and he was literally, I want to say maybe 3, and he was shooting on a 10-foot hoop, and he actually physically had the ball up over his head like a regular shot. Now he wasn't shooting a jump shot, but he was shooting on a regular 10-foot hoop up like, and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but.
Well, I actually can remember that day. He's just like, oh, I don't want Daddy to lower the hoop. You know, I know I can make it over the rim. And I said, you know, Mark, we don't want you to pick up a bad habit and shoot incorrectly. And he's like, no, watch, I can shoot it. And then it was like he started like 4 feet away, and he was just going from there. And, you know, he was always very strong and muscular.
He was a big
boy for his age.
He was just different.
I was kind of a chubby kid when I was younger, so I played as a second grader with all the fifth graders, and that's like kind of how my first three-pointer, so, and that's why I fell in love with basketball, kind of.
Now, your mom and dad both were stars in high school, played in college, but basketball wasn't your best sport, though.
Basketball is just in his bloodline with both of us, but the baseball deal just kind of hit us kind of like by storm.
Baseball was just like on the back end to 8th grade. I pitched and, you know, just got a lot of exposure.
It was crazy. Indiana was very involved in Mark. Missouri was very involved. And he just really blossomed his arm strength at the end of his sophomore year. He was pitching around 90 miles an hour. And he was 15 years old.
I was working really hard with my pitching coaches and like wanting to go to the MLB. I always wanted to be a professional athlete, so I just stuck with baseball because the opportunity.
Mark sat down, he's like, oh, I really feel good about this. You know, I think I'm gonna commit to Mizzou.
I won a college degree, but baseball sounded like the best way to get to, you know, be a professional athlete, so.
He's like, oh, I think I really want to do this. And I said, well, how are we going to do basketball? And because I was really pushing, and so was Anthony, that he would go to a school where he could do both.
Right.
Because
that was the big deal.
I was a little upset, not to prolong his dream, but I was like, gosh, he's always played basketball. We're a basketball household.
Right. He wasn't even going to play basketball his senior year.
Yeah, he
was
wasn't.
ready to just throw it all in.
I'm just going to be committed to baseball.
And we kept constantly saying to him, well, you have all your eggs in this basket. What happens if it doesn't work out? Then what are you going to do? Well, Dad, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
Anthony and I talked one evening, and I was like, well, I really think we need to support him. And it was just really weird how it all worked out.
I love basketball. Basketball's probably been always my favorite sport. Just baseball, I just put so much effort in, just work so hard, and like I'm so close to like getting into my dream coming true, and then it just kind of gets taken away.
He went to pitch in Atlanta and his arm bothered him. So we took him to an orthopedic, and the orthopedic said, you know, he just needs a couple weeks of rest. He needs to do some physical therapy, things like that. Well, Mark was like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to have a big, you know, high school junior season. Here I am, committed to Mizzou. And he rushed back, and it just flared up.
It was sprained, kind of really swollen. It was almost like a tar like string, like it was like just pull it, and it was that tight. Like it was just like the tightness and like the muscle being like weak. So I mean, so I just had to let it rest.
He sprained his flexor pronator tendon, and he's like, you know, gosh, I just have to get better, and it just wasn't. I noticed he was getting down in the dumps.
It was heartbreaking for me because, you know, I was really like working on like entering the draft out of high school. It was like a real difficult time for me because I was just in Mizzou's coach got fired, so I was looking to reopen my recruitment anyway. His
orthopedic said, you know, Mark, he said, I think you need to go out and do something else, you know, besides the baseball thing. You need to exercise because you're getting kind of down and out. He said, you don't throw basketball 91, 92 miles an hour. He said, go play some basketball.
It was kind of hard for me at first. I wanted to keep going, but then basketball, once I started playing, I just kind of fell in love with it again.
Now, what was that first game or tournament that you played in when you made the decision to focus on basketball?
We were playing in like the NY2LA tournament. That was kind of like my first weekend. And that's just kind of like the game where everything just kind of took off for me, you know.
After the first game, McEnroe comes out and he goes, man, he said, there's a lot of coaches that like him. They want to know where he's been.
It's like a big tournament, a bunch of college coaches. I was playing for Jets Raymond United and played solid overall, just played like my normal game, just try to win.
He put up like 18 points the first time, shot it, went to the basket, dunked a few. I was like, well, who is this kid? Coach McMurray goes, there's a bunch of coaches asking about Mark. Okay, so I text him out like, hey, this is what's going on.
We won, kind of got my picture taken, putting out there like they gave me like he's might open his recruitment, and that's when stuff just started coming in. We got a lot of mid-major offers right off the bat.
Andre McMurray, he called us and he said, my phone is ringing off the hook.
A couple of offers started coming in, then some more offers came in, and so he goes, well, what are the chances if I decommit that? I was like, Mizzou? Unless we call her like, hey, he's thinking about decommit.
And I was just like, are you serious?
Like, you serious?
And he goes, I just don't think my arm is ever gonna get better. And I feel like every month and every week, every day that goes by, I'm just losing time. Well, within an hour after it hitting the social media that he decommitted, he had 7 offers in one day for basketball. It was like all over, our phone rang like nonstop.
I just started working on basketball every day like baseball. Running a lot, losing a lot of weight so I could get in shape. And once school started, once I got to work on basketball, no baseball, that's when I think I got like really good. The first tournament is called Island Shootouts. Thanksgiving tournament. We beat a really good player, Jordan Goodwin.
I was walking out of my game, and the guy comes up to me and goes, "Oh my gosh, you hear what happened to Mark?" I go, "Oh no, did he get hurt?" And the guy goes, "No, he put up 37. I go, "Oh, he did." He goes, "Oh yeah, they beat Alton."
It was a really good game, and then after that, if schools really got kind of crazy on us, it went to a whole nother type of level.
That's just kind of when stuff just took off. Like I played good that whole tournament, and just steady, just played like that the rest of the year. And I always knew I could play like that if I focused on basketball like I did, and all the hard work paid off. So.
You guys started to see things change recruitment-wise, and
Right.
the attention that you started to get from, let's say, a Kentucky or a Duke or Michigan State, they're starting to come around because everyone's starting to realize that Mark Smith is really, really good and can be a program changer if he's with your school. So what was that process like?
It was a whirlwind, to be quite honest. It seemed like right after Christmas, DHS beat Altoff the second time, and Mark was MVP of the tournament.
You know, we beat Jordan Goodwin for the second time. So, you know, that was like kind of the solidifying moment, you know, where people knew like I was one of the top players.
When he received his first offer from Kansas State, it just seemed like it was every week.
Like every game you go out there, you knew there was kind of like an X on your back, a target, because everyone sees all the attention that you're getting.
I pull up and shoot like a Mark Smith. Ballin' out there like a Mark Smith. I'm in the field like a Mark Smith. I'm running the game like a Mark Smith. See that I ball like a Mark Smith. Wanna be me like a Mark Smith. I put the squad on my back, get in the shooting and watch how I switch.
And then it was Shaka Smart from Tom Izzo. It just got crazy. I can recall one night I had 5 big-time schools in the house. It was like from 3 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night.
He really handled it well. He was just the same. You would never know he was a kid that was being highly recruited because he never said much.
I throw a oop to myself, off the back board and knock it like Jordan.
Like you just have to go out there and play your game and like let your game do the talking. That's just kind of how I was raised.
Flash, water, drop.
Not to talk a lot, just let your game do the talking. So just play hard and do whatever you can to win. Like I don't care about the points.
I'm calling in plays like a coach. I dissed the AJ in the post.
I just want to win games. So.
Not one time did he ever make it about Mark, like during the season, because it was really something special. All these big-time coaches coming to the games, like, oh my gosh, Tom Izzo's in Dairy Queen. And like social media went crazy.
So as you continue to ascend on the court and open more eyes, how were you able to balance not only the production on the court, but to handle that recruitment?
Because it was kind of like my second time going through it, because baseball, I talked to a lot of big schools, same like South Carolina, Vanderbilt, like the Blue Bloods and their sports, so basketball was just easier for me to go out there and play. Like I wasn't nervous because like God will, lead me in the right way. So.
Get in the shooting and watch how I switch.
I couldn't get over how he carried himself from January through March. I thought, gosh, when is he gonna crack? Or man, that's a lot of pressure. He has schools looking at him, and it's like he doesn't know where he's gonna go.
They want me to hoop in Nebraska. They want me to ball out of Texas. But a line out, they want me back. I might just stay home and keep flexing.
And it's like, man, you have to perform, and you have to perform at that level day in and day out.
Watching him play and perform, you just see him like he'd get that motor going, but he was giving his teammates shots and getting excited when they made plays and throwing dives and being that vocal leader on the court.
It was really neat to see that because it was like, are we still ranked #1?
It was more
Team-oriented than the individual accolades.
We were just thinking, okay, he's going to get the state, have a chance to win the state in his senior year, because those kids have played together since like the 5th grade.
Regionals know that we got it. Sectionals know that we got it. Straight out of 618, head of the state, you know that we got it.
To see him have an opportunity to win state or go, like, man, that's gonna be awesome.
At times, people would talk to us about the Mr. Basketball Award, and I don't think I ever heard Mark say, I'm gonna be Mr. Basketball.
I was trying to win, like, state championship. Just win games. That's just kind of how I am, just not really worried about, like, the accolades or anything. I could care less about that stuff. I feel like it'll come if you're a winner, you know, so I'm gonna do whatever I can, you know, to impact the game.
I'm running the game like a Mark Smith. See that I ball like a Mark Smith. Wanna be me like a Mark Smith. I put the squad on my back, get in and shoot it and watch how I switch. I put up and shoot.
Even the loss to Simeon, he was playing and he was really following what the game plan was. He really wasn't trying to do anything other than what the game plan was.
It was really special to see how he went from a kid to a young man and how he always put his teammates first.
Those guys they're like my brothers. You know, everyone on our team always wanted each other to succeed. So like when we fell short, it was kind of hard for us because, you know, we just wanted it so bad.
Your senior season, you led your team to a 30-2 record, ultimately fell short, but number-wise, 21 points a game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 8 30-point games, a handful of 40-point games as well, and you had 2 triple-doubles. So for you, the work was done on a personal level to really win that Mr. Basketball Award.
This year's Mr. Basketball is simply an unprecedented story in this state. 6 months ago, he was being recruited by Northern Illinois, Wright State, and Indiana State. In the past month, his living room has hosted Tom Izzo and John Calipari. Ladies and gentlemen, your Mr. Basketball of Illinois for 2017, the 37th winner of the award, from Edwardsville High School, Mark Smith.
So take me back to when you first got word that you were the 2017 winner. What was that emotion like?
It was actually really awkward because I was in a home visit with a coach, Texas Longhorns, and my phone was just like buzzing crazy. So like I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna get on my phone in front of the coach. Like that's just disrespectful. Like I don't want to think I'm a rude kid or anything. So the UPS came with like a big old box. It was the Gatorade Player of the Year stuff. So I went back and he came and he's like, oh, you just won Mr. Basketball. I'm like, oh. I look at my phone and it's like Twitter, messages, just everything's crazy right now. So that's how I found out. Like I had a bunch of missed calls because I like turned my phone on silent. But it was kind of just awkward. Like the coach was like, oh, you know you won Mr. Basketball? I was looking at my phone, just awkward moment, but it was a good moment, so.
In February, Coach Battis sent me an email that Mark was a candidate for Gatorade Player of the Year for Illinois. I was like, wow, somebody nominated him. I said, cool. And so that was like the first thing that we've ever thought, you know, like Mark was in the running. And then it was like in March, we found out that he ended up winning that. And then it was like the next day, he won Mr. Basketball, so it was like crazy.
I think now, you know, he might be, he's really in the talks for Mr. Basketball. And I was like, for Illinois, like, he's got a chance to win it. We were like, oh, well, Mark is still walking around like.
He's still trying to decide what college to go to.
Hey everybody. I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight.
What set Illinois apart from the other programs, and was it the relationship that you had with current assistant Jamal Walker?
Yeah, that was part of it, but just also when Coach Underwood got hired, I was close to the decision. But once I talked to Coach Underwood the first time on the phone when he got hired, you know, just the stuff he said to me.
Jamal Walker done a great job of initially recruiting Mark, and then the transition happened, and you know, there's a certain level of excitement when you're walking into Mr. Basketball's house.
Well, I can remember when Coach Underwood came. It was probably a couple days right after he was hired.
The recruiting process is exciting, humbling, and at times even a little overwhelming. Through this experience, though, I've met incredible coaches and assistant coaches. Coach
Underwood came with Jamal, and it was, man, it was just like nothing was missed. You would have thought that Mark was talking to him for the whole time. And then when he left, he's just like, wow, he said, I really do like him. He goes, I just feel that connection.
Coach Underwood, first time came in my house, I just knew this is where I need to be. I just want to play for him, just how he is, how he said he was going to push me.
Very seldom do you walk out of a house after the visit and you've fallen in love with a kid because of his upbringing, what he stands for, his family values. So it was, I told Jamal, I said, I liked him a lot before, I love him now.
He wants me to work hard, I'm going to get every opportunity to achieve what I want to achieve in life. I told him I want to be an NBA player. I told him I've had to work for everything,
He's been able to transition from a guy who didn't play much varsity as a sophomore to a guy who became Mr. Basketball and see that hard work pays off.
I had like 0 offers going 2 weeks in the last, where you basically get all your offers and then kind of just build my resume up to, get in Kentucky, Duke. Of course, the recruiting process, there's one school that stood out above the rest.
It was in April. We came up here and we spent the day. And as soon as Mark and I got in the car, he's like, I'm ready.
And now what y'all been waiting for?
He said, I think we need to let the media know I'm ready to make a decision.
I got kind of like a gut feeling like this is just where I need to be at.
The fan base is really great for Illinois, and I think he really likes that.
I want to make my state proud. I want to join the likes of D. Brown, Brian Cook, Deion Thomas, Frank Williams, and other Mr. Basketballs that have chosen to stay in state.
I think it's great to try to leave your own mark in your own state, and I think he's excited about that. So
I'm extremely happy to be going to the University of Illinois.
This program, this university is prestigious, especially when it comes to basketball, and you look up and see these banners: national champions, 1915, Final Four in 49 and 51, and then 52, then the Flying Illini 89 and 2005, D. Brown, Darren Williams that had that team making it to the national championship. Can you see the team putting another banner up there during your time in the orange and blue?
That's the goal, and that's what we're working for, and that's the coach Underwood talks about every day. So, yeah, to me, I feel I see one coming. So,
okay. All right, man. We've walked all over this court, but we're transitioning into the centerpiece, and you have the outline of the state of Illinois, which is right at the center inside of the State Farm Center.
618.
So, where's
right
Edwardsville right now? Point out Edwardsville.
618 right here.
Okay. And what does that mean for you to?
I mean, just representing the
618 on your
hometown
back.
where I grew up at.
We're an elite program. Why, if you're from this state, and this is one of the great basketball states, one of the great basketball environments in the country, why would you want to go anywhere else?
I mean, it's special, and now I'm representing orange and blue. First time having it on in here. It's just a special feeling right now. Just represent my state, represent my hometown, the 618. So
obviously, being Mr. Basketball, there's some outside pressure that comes with that. There's some popularity with that. There's some swagger with that. And yet he's a guy that's in so many ways very humble, yet he's never going to get away from who he is. All the awards are great, and yet all he wants to do here is win.
Going through what he did, I'm not worried. I think he can handle anything. Yeah, it's part of it. When you're at this level, it's part of it, and I'm not worried.
Fight through an injury, and then to literally switch gears and say, I'm going to be this, and to become that in basketball speaks volumes to his character.
Basketball for Mark, I think the best is yet to come. I really do believe that.
I think he's going to have an outstanding career. He's got the opportunity to be one of the great players to ever wear this jersey, and I say that knowing there's been a lot of great ones that have worn it.
The lineup people are going to love it.
It's going to be a fun time.
Definitely. This is it, man. It's all waiting for you. So your mom put together a very detailed and very elaborate poster board, a picture collage of, your playing days at Edwardsville, and also more importantly, some family pictures with you and your siblings. So what on that board stands out for you, and what memories come to mind when you look at those pictures?
Yeah, that board it kind of describes just how my family is and how I am. Just kind of goofy, real close to my siblings. I say my brother and sister, we're really close. We got a Snapchat streak, right, when I've been away from home, so.
Mark's brother and sister, they're very important to him. And he's great to Maria and AJ, and he always includes them. Whenever he won something, he always had to get AJ in the picture, Maria in the picture, and they think very highly of him.
Just the sports I was playing there, me and the little Tigers, football, the baseball. I mean, it just kind of brings back memories, when I was younger, where it all started, playing basketball. The one on the right, it's like the first time I dunked for EHS, because my first dunk was in 8th grade. In that picture in the bottom, me winning the MVP award, that's kind of one of my big games. I got an offer from Illinois that game. My teams on the basketball teams on there, and like AJ, Ali, Caleb, and JJ. Those are kind of like my best friends. That's just kind of who it is. My cousins, just family, and that's really who I hung out with.
He was more of a homebody going through high school. He wasn't a kid that I would say would go out. He played PlayStation, watch ESPN. One of the things I remember when we came here, he specifically had to get a game so this way he could constantly talk to AJ on PS4. But I'm gonna be honest, when I look at the board and I see all the great photos, those are great. But at our house, it's extremely competitive. I can recall a day we went outside with the jump rope, and it was like a 2.5-hour competition of who could jump rope the longest.
We're talking about all 5 people.
Oh, this is the whole household. This is everyone, not just the kids.
It was heated,
It's
and
bad.
it was like.
We go bowling, people looking at us like, are they together?
And, but really when I look at the board, he's a great older brother. And there could be a better first child. I mean, man, it would be hard to top because he's a great role model for them.
If you watch him on that boy, he's got that big smile. When they're on the beach, we were down there, and the whole time he's playing with his sister and brother out there in the water, and he's done it all the right way. I mean, he's blessed.
He's definitely, he's a great kid.
There's a quote on that board.
Yeah, sometimes the bad things that happen in our lives put us directly on the path to the best things that will ever happen to us. And that quote, to me, because baseball I thought was really, gonna take me, that's what I put some of this work, but really, basketball, it's always been my favorite sport, and it's like a blessing. God just kind of took me back to it, I guess. And my mom made a good board. Some ugly pictures on there. Braces make beautiful faces. My mom's go-to saying, yeah.
Let's end it with this. If you both can describe your son in one word, what would that word be?
One word?
Because Mark is a lot of great things, and it's hard to just put one title on him because he's a person of so many and he does so many great things.
I think he's very competitive.
I was going to say competitive. That's what I was going to say.
He's very competitive. And
I
think you have to be when you're at this level. You have to be competitive.
Winner. Winning's hard. There's very few people out there that have what I call it, and I don't know how to describe it. He has it. The desire, the passion to win. And it doesn't have to be basketball. When life's over for Mark on the basketball court, he's going to win in the game of life. And winner's the best definition I've come up with yet.
Mark, thank you so much. We appreciate the time. I know you got a bright future here at U of I. 618 is here.
Yep. Yeah. 618 is here.
Drain it.
Here.
That is a sign to come. The 618 is here. Mark Smith. Thank you.
618 is here.
You can't script that. As Mark continues marching towards a new set of goals in Champaign, fans of the Fighting Illini will follow every step in hopes that the state's homegrown talent returns the orange and blue back to college basketball glory. Thanks for watching. I'm Camron Smith.
A little smile.